Greetings and salutations. My name is Dwayne Kelley, and this is
Eber Perez.
we are partners in the presentation and marketing presentation of the Samsung Corporation.
So in Samsung's marketing plan, we obviously don't have a hand in it, but we got to do some research, and we got to see what their situation is as far as marketing and how they go about marketing their products. Samsung was founded in March 1938 by Lee Byung-chul. He is from Korea, and when he started his business, he started with 30,000 won, which is about $27 US. Looking at the history of Samsung, you can see that the owner pushed his company towards a business that was very profitable.
Yeah, he also kept pushing, like you said, not only was his push profitable, but one of the things that he focused on was keep pushing the business toward technology. Leo Byung-chul went from having only $27 United States dollars to start the business, and now having a company that is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. So it's a very progressive company, and it's been a very progressive growth. And their vision is to inspire the world, create the future. Again, inspire the world, create a future, and it has a real ring to it. And although Samsung is a big market, is in a big market, they hold a big portion of the market share. They will continue to be in that position if they follow the vision that they have established for the company. They will create a future in which we will see the world through Samsung technology.
All right. So the internal environment, when it comes to Samsung, their mission statement clearly states that they want to devote their talent and technology to creating superior products and services that contribute to a better global society. To achieve this, Samsung sets a high value on its people and technologies.
You know, part of their organizational structure is what is a key to their success. As a corporation, they are very structured. They have some complex leadership controlling different aspects of the business. Today, we're going to just look at, even though they market many products that we're so familiar with, today we want to focus in on the electronic side. And we studied some of the leadership. I'm not going to go into all the names, but we actually did excerpts and read things from the CEO of Samsung Electronics, the head of Consumer Electronics, the head of IT and Mobile Communications Division, and the person that's responsible for overall business administration.
So the corporate culture at Samsung, we strive to create a social and environmental value as well as economic value through our sustainability management and contribute to the development of a global society. Samsung is constantly attempting to create innovation by making quality products and earth-conscious decisions.
And so some of the things that make them successful is staying focused on what worked in the past and what works currently. You know, 1960s and in 1976, they have been making, all through that period, they were strong in televisions. They sold over 1 million televisions. Now they're one of the highest companies as far as high technology, as far as screens. Now they turned their focus into, like again, the electronic component, which they have a big market share in cell phones. They're second only to Apple.
Current products available for Samsung are the Galaxy S10, which is very popular, especially with the new Fortnite followers, because they get products once you buy that phone. You get the Note 9, which is another phone that is the top of the line for Samsung. The televisions, I didn't even know this, but they're at QLED at 8K. And I'm just barely starting to get into 4K, and I believe that's good enough. They also have tablets. They have very top of the line tablets, which I imagine they're also competing with Apple since their iPads are so popular. They also have home security products and just smart appliances that you can purchase through any store or through any internet portal.
So the current market is, open to everyone. At one time, we thought 26 to 50 was the range that they wanted to work in. But, that put limitations. Now, with teenagers being more tech savvy than the adults, and, you have generations, so the gap is spread. And so pretty much the target market, the current market, is young, 15-year-old children all the way up to 50-year-old adults. And the reason for this age market is because we target older or younger people because they may know how to fully engage in our products. Where there is a great opportunity for tech-savvy people to be targeted. So like anything new, there's a learning curve when you use the Samsung products and the company tries to make their devices very user-friendly. And this is a unique piece to their success.
When it comes to pricing, the Galaxy S10 is, along with the Note 9, are the most expensive ones, which come in at $599.99 and $699.99. This being said, those phones have been out for about a year, so I'm sure that the next best thing's gonna come out, in a few months, because every year they tend to upgrade something small and makes the price go up exponentially. But they do fairly price and compete with with Apple and with other Android phones as well. They have tablets that are priced between $649 and $749.99. The top of the line televisions, which are the QLED 8K TVs, start off at $4,000 for a 65-inch. If you feel like your bucks are weighing you down a bit, the 98-inch QLED 8K TV goes for about $70,000. Home appliances are between $769 to $4,000, depending on which appliance you want to get. And also the smart home products are very well priced, and you can purchase them for about $300 or less.
So customer sales, as you'll see with the chart below, Samsung has been consistent. This chart shows billions of dollars. And despite its fluctuation, the sales are always consistent throughout each quarter. These fluctuations could have been some other devices through other companies having better technology, but Samsung has a loyal following because it has good quality products.
Samsung's target markets is global, everywhere that there's money. Samsung wants to be there and wants to be a leader in the technology in every market. Currently, they have the largest markets in South Asia, North America, Europe, and now Africa as well. Another thing that makes Samsung very global is that, of course, they have the internet, which is at the fingertips of every single market in the planet, well, in this whole planet.
So we've talked about the internal environment and set the tone, and just like any company or corporation, there's a balance. So now we want to go into the external environment, and we're going to start off with the competitive environment. Having an extensive number of products on the market, they face stiff competition in many ways from major brands or even copycat manufacturers. Some of the competition in the electronic area is Apple, Xiaomi, Oppo, Vivo, and companies like Lenovo, Sony, Motorola, Microsoft, and LG, just to name a few. And you can imagine it's hundreds of companies that's out there. And the competition not only exists in the electronics, it exists in the durables.
Samsung's vision is to inspire the world and create the future. This factor is very strong for Samsung. Samsung has expanded to emerging and developing markets. Samsung has also started aggressive push into new markets to counter for the loss of business in the developed world.
So they're always trying to find some type of balance, because in more of the developed worlds, there's more products, more copycats, more marketing, more media coverage, television, things of this nature. So they're going into markets that's not familiar, and they're taking it by storm. So it's helping out. In their technological environment, they're one of the leading innovative companies in the world. They aim, and this is what they're selling to and their marketing to, the aim is to stay ahead of technological and innovational curve. They have an advantage in use of power of technology. It will drive innovation for sustainable business as their advantage.
To point out more examples on that technology and them being innovative, just to put it with one of their most famous competitors with Apple, Apple's barely using some of the technologies that Samsung's been using for years, and Samsung is they're just ahead of the curve. And if you want the best, that's what you go with: Samsung Galaxies, and their screens, their LCD and LED TVs. The political and legal environment. Most markets are favorable to Samsung. There are minor problems in some of the foreign markets. India is an example. Going into new markets, Samsung must consider political instability of certain regions, the possibility of war in Korean Peninsula and in certain Latin American and African countries where the political environment is unstable. Frequent changes in government structures is a serious concern, but Samsung has been able to factor this into its strategic calculations. So they can measure pretty much where it's safe to put up businesses for themselves.
And on top of that, from a legal standpoint, they, and it goes along with their pastel, they have been penalized heavy, and they had heavy charges because at one time they said that they imitated Apple's iPad and iPhone. And so they were very concerned about the public perceptions starting to worsen. So due to the range of the lawsuit, Samsung has expanded to these unfamiliar or new territories so that they don't always appear to be a copycat company. So that goes right into the social cultural environment. Being a South Korean company, they have laws, they have a culture, they have a structure, they have ways, they have things that's familiar to them, but they still operate as a Korean company. They haven't lost their culture and who they represent and where they are from. So they must continuously change many aspects of their culture to fit whatever country they go into. So if they're selling their products in India, they have to be respectful to the Indian culture. If they sell their products in the United States, they have to be aware and respectful to the American culture. And this is pretty huge in that, helping them out in these emerging markets.
SWOT analysis, the strengths. Samsung, of course, has many strengths. They have a very extensive research and development, and they spend a lot and is the second largest among technology, but only reflects 7.3% of the company's revenue. So that's huge, because when it comes to R&D, that's your bread and butter. That's where you do your research and you make sure that you have the most innovative, the top of the line products that you can have out in the market. And if you can do that much in research and only have 7.3 of it used towards the company revenue, that's pretty efficient.
Pretty good management.
They have strong corporate brand and known for having quality products. They have innovation in design. Many different designs are offered. Large number of products to offer customers, including TVs, tablets, smartwatches. They have home theaters. They have desktop computers, laptops, monitors, printers, home appliances, and home phones.
Sounds like they don't allow you to be boring. They have so much for you.
Yeah,
especially with the innovation and the many quality products.
Yeah, they have so much at your disposal that you can take your pick on what you want.
Yeah, so that's some of the strengths, and just like to be fully aware, SWOT analysis strengths weaknesses, opportunities. We want to understand to be better. We know where we're strong at, and Samsung knows where they're strong, but they also need to get better. They need to know where they're weak. So it's interesting, even though they have quality products and known to have quality products, but according to their competitors and what people view their competitors, their products are perceived as low quality. And I'm going to take, for instance, phones, or a television. A Samsung television is not as popular. Maybe it's a Philips or someone else. And another weakness is they cut costs. To keep customers, they offer low profit margins. They're going to make sure that they compete by low pricing, almost lowballing themselves. And with such a large product portfolio, it's hard to be good at everything. There's going to be some areas that they thin out. And so, again, quality seems to be less than the biggest competitor, especially in the mobile phone industry, Apple, and that's a concern for them and considered a weakness. Yes. So some of the threats, just like we were saying, not only do we have the major companies that they're competing with, but just, electronics and cell phones and innovation is the way, and technology is the way of the future. So there's a growing number of competitors and copycats. Strong competitors like Apple and Lenovo. Many different products lead to potential of failure also. That means you can't be good at everything. So there's areas which affect, and anytime you have a failure in one area company, your name brand is still your brand, so it affects all the image of the company. And again, one of the threats is that customers are looking for the best products, the best quality. That's huge today.
So our marketing strategies that we are trying to implement, as if we worked with Samsung, is the target markets that we want to focus on is the internet-based markets, which is everywhere. The consumer markets, we will continue to target the younger male and female groups between the ages of 15 and 25 years old.
Yeah, so that leads us right into the demographics. We have already said it a few times. We noticed the trend, society has changed. So again, male and female teens and adults, 15 all the way up to 50, because we were just 26 to 50 was our demographic. Now we extended it to 15 to 50. And household incomes are 35,000 and higher. We have a psychographic, which is give us a diversity in consumer range. We're going to market to customers who have an attitude of collecting technological gadgets. They like technology, so it's fun for them. And then some of the media habits. They like watching edgier shows like The Walking Dead, and pay more attention to ads during the holidays. So a lot of our holiday ads is going to be, that holiday season will be the time to push. And this group that we're targeting is the heavy users of social media.
We want to position the product is that we want to make sure that we continue being as efficient with the research and development. We want to make sure that we position the product to the correct target market in which it'll make the most profits for the company. There's also product strategies, which Dwayne would.
Yeah, so to be successful, we have to have a product strategy. And so one of the strategies, because there's so much competition out there, we had to target areas that we felt that we can be strong. And one area is the curve monitors for gamers. The population of gamers has grown tremendously. This trend addresses the need for gamers with specifications such as widescreen and ultra high definition. So as Samsung Display, they said they had plans to expand its market share by 30%. So that's the area whereas the competition might get stiffer with, say, the smartphone. But let's target another area. So we're going to be diverse and go into curve monitors for gamers.
Yeah, that's that's probably my market. I consider myself a gamer. I'm not very good, but I'm a gamer. So there's our pricing strategies for Samsung. Having a wide variety of products to offer the customer, which is, you can see right off the bat, they offer all types of electronics, and with the phones, the cell phones being the most popular among the Samsung followers, and also the TVs. For me personally, like, Samsung is, in my view, the top of the line when it comes to TVs, and you can't get a better picture from any other brand. The way that they want to do their pricing is by doing price skimming. They're setting the rates high during the introductory phase, then lowering gradually as competitor goods appear on the market. This will allow Samsung to maximize profits on early adopters before dropping prices. This way they attract more price sensitive customers.
Promotion strategies. We rely a lot on internet promotion and television promotion. There are also many billboard ads, posters on companies that resell the Samsung products. The one thing that the various posters and ads show how Samsung has been ahead of the curve and mostly promotes their phones. Television advertisement ads focus on the technology and how they're coming out with things that Apple has not even thought of. One of the knocks on Apple is that they have been behind on the technologies that Samsung has been using for a few years now. Magazines and newspapers, that's a different promotional strategy. Advertisement is a very good area. The problem is a lot of people are not reading newspapers anymore, but there's still a target market that may not be on the internet. That's for the older generations, the 50, and sometimes we have to even look outside the 26 to the 26 to the 50-year-olds. You might have a 60-year-old, okay, who still is phone savvy.
Sorry.
Sponsorships, we like to get promotion activities, sponsor different activities. It has been a useful tool. Sports activities, stadiums, we put the name on many things. Enclosure, digital, social media, and mobile marketing. Samsung lives in the realm of marketing. The most revenue is poured into this type of promotion because most of the target market is exposed to this around the clock. People wake up in the middle of the night and they turn over and they look at their phone or their laptop, mostly phones. I don't know about everyone else out there, but me personally. And I look at there and there's some advertisement.
I'll cut that out. So that's huge when it comes to that promotion strategy. So when it comes to supply chain strategies, Samsung is very efficient when it comes to their suppliers, their manufacturers, their distributors, and the customers are all important to the Samsung structure. So all these pieces come together, and they're able to distribute out the product at the lowest possible price that is why factories are set up all around the world to meet the demand of all the technology seekers. So there's a high demand for all these products, and if Samsung drops the ball on any sort of way, then they'll lose revenue, they'll lose in sales, but they're very efficient in that aspect.
So how will we implement this? Let's talk about implementation. So first, we're going to measure our actual performance. Just in the last, according to the graph on the paper, sales have been consistent. Samsung has just kept up with the trends and marketed their products very well. Comparing the performance versus what they have been before, Samsung seems to be improvement. And always, companies want to see improvement, quality improvement, profits to improve, relationships with their customers to improve, customer service to improve. So we want to continue to be recognized as a great performing company. They have reached market objectives and to the point where they are competing head to head with the giant Apple. And finally, Samsung has taken some revenue off newspaper ads because the Romney is not good enough. The largest return in coming from digital and social market media. We now live in a world in which we want everything in an instant. This means we must have the information for people at their fingertips. And that's exactly what Samsung is doing. It was great partnering with you. I think that anyone that hears this presentation, they really makes them want to be a part and invest in Samsung products and become an investor with us.
Go Samsung, even though I have Apple.
I got both, but I got Samsung. But the only reason I have Apple is because it's a company phone.
Yeah.
I got 2 Androids.
Yeah. Apple usability, Samsung more tech savvy, but just the overall better product.
All right. We got a nice little duck pond out here.
Yeah. 36. Hope you enjoyed the video. These are some of the bloopers. Oh man, that's terrible.
Sorry.
Cut.
I know. One thing I was going to say, I could have jumped in with you. One example to use the psychology is encouraging customers on the internet. That's for the older generations, the 50, and sometimes we have to even look outside the 26 to the 26 to the 50-year-olds. You might have a 60-year-old, okay, who still is phone savvy.
Samsung's trying to target that and using that promotion strategy of going through. I lost my train of thought. Where am I at?
This was your next one, the supply chain. Oh, you want to go back up there?
Yeah. Rami being return on marketing investment.
So thank you, Eber, for the presentation.